Gents, if your home looks like this, or like this, we need to talk. At a certain point, a man's home should feel like more than just a place where he sleeps. It should be mature, and it should be designed with some intention behind it. Not just a chair and a TV setup, or God forbid, a mattress on the floor. Your home is an expression of who you are, and when you have people over, it's a big indicator on whether or not you have your life together. So today we're talking about interior design for men, and we're going to be specifically answering the question, how can you as a man create a home that feels classy, mature, masculine, and personal without you needing to become an interior designer? Gentlemen, this is the art of interior design. Hi everyone, I'm Nick, and on this channel we explore the art of dressing and living well. If that sounds like something that you're interested in, make sure you subscribe. Also, follow me on Instagram. I post there regularly and I have a ton of fun content planned. Before I dive into the 6 steps of interior design, let's talk about why it's so important and the number one mistake that I see men making over and over again. Interior design can sound purely decorative, like it's about choosing the right sofa or artwork, but for men especially, it matters for a much deeper reason. Your home is the environment you live in every single day, and it affects your morning, how you work, how you relax, sleep, and at the end of the day, how you see yourself. A chaotic space tends to create a chaotic mind. It's going to be impossible to feel calm and focused if your room is messy and cluttered. But when your home is clean and designed well, it changes the way you feel in it. Just like when you wear better clothing, you feel more confident. The same principles apply to your home design. We're not necessarily trying to impress others with it, but what we are trying to do is create an environment that supports the man that you're becoming, because your home is not just a place where you live. It reflects how you live. The biggest mistake most men make is they treat their homes like a temporary space, and there's this overall lack of cohesion. There's never a full commitment to making their home feel like a home. Now, when you're young, this can be a bit of a challenge because you move more often. I remember when I was in school, I moved pretty much every year of school. I actually just moved into this place not too long ago, and I'm still getting settled in. But in the long term, you don't want your place to look like a collection of random items that were just thrown together, like a random coffee table off Facebook Marketplace and bedding that doesn't match. It just doesn't look good, whereas a well-designed home does the opposite. It shows intentionality and that you care. Now we're going to walk through the 6 steps so that you have a clear framework on how to approach designing your space. Before you start anything, you need to decide on what theme you're trying to create. So step 1 is choose a mood before you buy anything. Think about what your personal tastes are and what would fit well into your space. Maybe you want your space to feel like a dark masculine lounge, an old money study, an Italian apartment, a coastal summer home, or a clean modern suite. You could even do a mix. The point is, choose a cohesive theme and come up with a plan. The easiest way to do this is to search for inspiration first. Search places like Instagram, TikTok, and Pinterest for apartment design and aesthetics, and then save them to folders. This is what I do, and it makes it much easier. You could also look at films, magazines, and even interiors from brands you like. Ralph Lauren is a great one as an example. Another good thing to keep in mind is that once you choose a theme, also consider the color palette and decide whether the room needs warmer or cooler tones or softer neutrals. The mistake is buying random pieces you like individually and then wondering why the room does not feel cohesive. So choose a theme or a mood and stick to a plan. Once you have a theme chosen, then the next thing is to master lighting. You could have a room that's perfectly designed with beautiful furniture and nice art, but if the lighting is off, then it can really make a space feel uncomfortable, kind of like a cold office building. Lighting affects everything, and you'd be surprised how much it can change the overall look of your room, and it can even affect your sleep. So here are a couple tips. Number 1, have multiple light sources. Most men rely far too much on overhead lighting, but it can make a room feel flat. Instead, you want to create layers of light. Use table lamps, floor lamps, and bedside lamps. You could even add in some candles. We're trying to create warmth and a little atmosphere. A good rule of thumb is to have at least 2 or 3 light sources in one room. One for general lighting, one for task lighting, and one for mood. Tip number 2 is pay attention to the temperature of your bulbs. Cooler lighting can make your home feel like an office or a hospital. Warmer lighting, on the other hand, makes a space feel more intimate and relaxed. Lighting temperature is measured in Kelvin. The lower the number, the warmer and more golden the light feels. Whereas on the other end, the higher the number, the cooler, whiter, and more clinical and office-like it becomes. For a home, around 2700 Kelvin is usually the sweet spot, but you can go a bit brighter in your kitchen and bathroom. I actually bought a bunch of new bulbs recently. I have these ones, which are for my living room, and they're 2700 Kelvin, so they're warmer. And then I have these ones, which are pot lights, and these tube lights for my kitchen, and they're both at 4000 Kelvin. So they're more of a natural white. Once you nail the lighting, the next step is to make the space feel layered. And the way that we do that is add in some texture, depth, and some warmth. You don't want your space to feel flat, and this is where texture becomes really important. Think about the materials that make a room feel rich and lived in and that work well with the mood that you've chosen. Things like wood, leather, linen, wool, stone, glass, and metal. You could also add in some rugs, curtains, plants, or ceramics. It's very similar to dressing well. A good outfit usually has some texture and dimension by leveraging different materials like cotton, suede, wool, denim, etc. And interior design works the same way. If everything is the same color, it will just look flat. So keep that in mind as you design your space. Mirrors are also a great hack. They're one of the easiest ways to add some depth, especially if you live in a smaller space. They trick the mind into believing that your place is larger than it actually is, and they give the space a more elegant and finished look. There are two things I guarantee you will never regret going bigger on. The first is a TV, and the second is a mirror. Okay, now you've chosen your mood, you've mastered lighting, and you've added in some texture and depth. Now it's time to focus on the high-impact upgrades. These are the items that add some real character to your home, and you don't need to buy everything all at once, but try to pick a few key upgrades that will revolutionize your space. For example, I can probably bet that a lot of you have less than ideal bedding, so this is a great place to start. A proper rug is another great one and can make a living room feel warmer and more finished. You could also add in some artwork and make sure you frame it. It's a small change, but unframed posters almost always look temporary. And avoid any tiny art on large walls. It just looks off. You could also add in a good coffee table, accent chair, side table, or add in a vintage piece to give the room a real sense of character. Even small details matter. Better towels in the bathroom, proper glassware in the kitchen, a tray for your keys, your watch, your wallet, or fragrance. These are the pieces that people notice because they create a sense of taste and permanence. And especially if you live in an apartment like I do and you can't change the walls or the floors, adding in some statement pieces is just a simple way to upgrade your apartment. Next, let's talk personality. Step 5 is to make it personal and not staged. It should feel like you live there. Your home is your home and it should reflect your personal interests, your memories, and your taste. I'll give you some examples of things that I've added to my apartment to show you my taste. I think a good idea for anyone's home is to have a little library. So here's mine of books that I've collected over the years. Behind where I sit to film, I have these pictures of Porsches because I love classic cars. And I also have this record player / radio for classical and jazz music. This whole thing is actually a full bar setup with a cocktail shaker set because I like to make drinks when I have people over. You can also see here that I have this bottle of Macallan whiskey and this special release of Bollinger champagne from the latest James Bond movie, which was extremely hard to find. And then I also have my Tom Ford book because I love men's style. So you can get a good sense of my taste and interests just from the pieces I've shown you here. A few other ideas for you are objects from any travels that you've done, a chessboard if you like playing chess, a writing desk, framed film posters, coffee table books on your interests, or vintage pieces that you found somewhere. All of these are things that will make your home feel more personal and more human. And finally, none of this matters if your home is not clean. Cleanliness is the foundation of good interior design. Keep any surfaces clean, floors clean, and make your bed. Try to declutter as much as possible, and as a general rule, try to keep your surfaces about 70% clear. Not everything needs to be displayed. In fact, most things should be put out of sight. Picking up some good storage and organizing is key. Have a proper shoe rack instead of letting your shoes pile up by the door. Use a tray or a small container for your keys, wallet, sunglasses, and other small things. Use trays on coffee tables, bedside tables, or bathroom counters to make everyday clutter look more intentional. And hide cables wherever possible because visible wires can make even a nice room feel unfinished. No one's home is perfect, but don't neglect cleanliness because it undoes any design effort that you've done. A gentleman's home doesn't need to be extravagant, but it should feel cared for. The art of interior design is really the art of living with intention, and that's what I talk a lot about on this channel. So start small and change things over time, and before you know it, you'll have a completely new space. Also, I created some other videos on elegant items men can add to their homes, so I'll link those videos in the description below. And I'll include some links to products that I like or that I have as well, in case you're interested. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe, and check out some of my other videos for more on the art of dressing and living well. Thanks for watching.